This is Colette from Soul Life Loving. We're going to continue the journey of my tale as a karmic line buster on my timeline. And I think I'm up to the age where I'm about 4, preschool, older than 3, yeah, 4-ish, because I was allowed out roaming then, so I'd go out and roam and hide, and then come back in for a meal, go out again, hide. I didn't have my own room until I was 9, and then you had to have your own room, because my brother was a boy. Then I got my own room. I wasn't allowed to have a lock on the door because my father said, and he convinced my mother, what if there's a fire? What if you collapse? What if something goes wrong and we can't get in? That is a lot of bullshit. It's a lot of bullshit. I learned why exactly my dad didn't want me to have a bolt on my door, but it's bullshit. As an adult and a parent, I can kick in any door that my kid's behind, easy, if I have to. What I didn't know, and they didn't know, my mother didn't know, I don't think my mother knew, you can't always know the predator that you live with. You can't always know what they're like. When you're in a relationship with somebody, and they're the father of your children, there's a modicum of trust. And you don't think, nobody thinks that it's going to happen to them in their home. It's always somebody out there that it happens to. And in those days, and not a lot of it was talked about in public. It wasn't in the newspapers. There were an awful lot of damaged children who couldn't speak out. I know some who have never spoken out about it and prefer to shove it down. Personally, if you can do that without warping yourself, fine. I asked my guys to show me exactly what my mind had blocked out so that I could build better foundations for myself as an adult. I didn't want to keep crashing into things because my foundations weren't built on knowing. And when you've got things buried in your subconscious, you know, to other people, oh, it's a good thing if it's buried and they can't remember. No, because it surfaces into zones. And I think along the way, many adults find it either as a victim or as a general stand-by. They don't want, it's very difficult to acknowledge the weight of it. I mean, we've only just acknowledged, really, and we still don't know much about it, about attacks on women of varying kinds. And yes, it is coming out with the children, but I have heard adults say, oh, for God's sakes, they're adults now, why can't they just let it go? There goes another man's reputation, all the good he's done, all the nice music he's made. No, it's a predator. He's damaged and wrecked children's lives and their parents' lives, or any partners that they've had have been wrecked because of it, and they do more damage than a bomb. So no, it's not all right. It's really not. Let's not keep celebrating these weirdos, please. You know, let's just call them out as they are. It's not all right to damage either an adult or a child to the point where that you warp their natural humanity and their pathway to being a full, highest good individual. It's not right. Oh, some people thrive on that. No, they don't, you knob. They do not thrive on it. They cope and they manage and they have nightmares about it that they don't talk about. So for the Lord, please, can we stop? I do not want to hear a paedophile's music on TV or on the radio. Oh, isn't he wonderful? No, he's not wonderful. Oh. But I do have hopes for humanity that they will eventually decide that children are really worthy of protecting, and that young people are really worthy, because what you get out of these people, even if they're damaged, if in the right atmosphere and with belief systems in place, the wealth of understanding and compassion and energy that comes from protecting, from them knowing they're being protected, individuals to their communities, you can't rate it. You're not going to percentagize it. It's not a decimal point. It's something wonderful, and it's to be celebrated and not worshipped, but yeah, let's get our hands together and let's cheer these people on. Let's cheer the parents that do the right thing. Let's cheer them, because they're just silent heroes. And we wouldn't have so much trouble coming from damaged children who then become adults. We wouldn't have so much if we could just acknowledge it in all walks of life, in all financial brackets, in all power position brackets. It is not all right to traffic and manipulate and damage children, because when you're one of them on the receiving end of it, hearing an adult saying, "Why haven't you got over it by now?" doesn't help. So on that note, I'm going to leave that subject alone now, but it was much of a big thing in my informative years. So get to 4. I've got the freedom of the front of house. I've got a tiny little bike. I can go across fields. I've got freedom. And then my mother took me to this place, this austere stone building, where she said, "This is school. Are you going to go to school today?" So she took me, this silent little child, to this place, and I took one look at it, and it was just throbbing, and I thought, oh no, I don't want to go in there. There's really bad people in there, really. Some children are definitely really weird, but there are many adults that are very weird, and they were all throbbing in this building, and it was moving, it was shimmering with it, and I know. So there was all railings around the school, so I wove myself in between all these railings. My mother couldn't get me off. One of the other mothers came to try and pull me off. Then they got the teacher, and then they thought if they hit me hard enough, they might be able to make me squeal, and I'd let go and give in. No, it didn't work. It just made me scream louder, by which time people had come out the front doors on the street, and was like, "What are you doing to that child?" This woman said. "We've got to get her into school and she doesn't want to go." And I'm thinking, somebody's going to save me. Somebody's going to say, "I'm not surprised with all that going on in there." Didn't know it was only me that could see it. I'm not surprised with all that going on in there. nobody saved me. Eventually it got to the point where they said, oh, just a minute, fire. Oh, it's all right, it's just a log that dropped. Eventually they said, just take her home, we're all going to go in now, she'll probably let go, take her home, bring her back tomorrow, we'll see how we get on. What I didn't know was that the plan was that my mother was going to bring me out. She was going to go up the street, because that's the way to the park, con me into it, and then instead of carrying on up the next street, she would grab me and she would frog march me round to the school gates like that, and she had a grip on me, and no, I was going to go in, she was going to, anyway, I was thrown in. We'll take care of her from here now, and I had to sit, and there was a long row of children, maybe about 10, and then another row of children, and then on the third row there was me. First day. And I'm left-handed. Mainly left-handed. Little bit ambidextrous, but mainly left-handed. So she comes along the front. She holds a pen out. This kid takes it. She goes to the next one. They take it. She goes to the next one. Next. She gets to number 9. Holds the pen out. This kid takes it with the left hand. She pulls out a crepe bandage, puts his arm down, straps him up, puts a knot in it. You have to use your right hand, you can't use your left. And I was thinking, oh, comes up on the next row, gets to here, she takes it with the left hand, crepe bandage, gets to here, comes along to me, who's little observing me, gives me the pen, I take it with my right hand. I don't want my arm strapping down. Can you imagine being in a place like that with all that shimmery energy, that negative energy that's making me like cold as a stone on the outside, and I'm rigid with shock. I'm not going to take it with my left hand, so I learnt to write with my right hand. I'm still left-handed. Everything else I do is left-handed. Guitar. But I write with my right hand. Now this was done for our benefit, because there were, you couldn't have left-handed people that were handicapped. So you had to learn how to use your right hand to write with. The fact that they would write on reports and criticise me because my handwriting was bad or my concentration was bad or something, when they had no idea how hard it was for me to write neatly with my right hand. And I was 4. And complaining about how slow I was when I didn't want to get hit with a ruler. They hit you with a ruler when you were 4, for messy handwriting, and they still complained about me. And these are the kind of schools that I grew up with. They were just like torture chambers. 32 there was in my class. And it was just hell on earth. And they thought they were doing you a favour. You know, correcting you on your knuckles with a ruler was doing you a favour, because then you'd try harder because you didn't want to get hit. And yeah, I could see their logic and it did work. But good God, I pray and hope that schools nowadays are not hellholes like that. And that was my learning I'm going to go into it later of how to navigate as an odd child with unique talents, the schooling system, and how I learned how to develop unwittingly my spirituality so that I could take on this role as a karmic buster. And on that note, I'm going to go. Thank you very much for listening. See you again.